What if one night could rewrite the emotional history of K-pop, leaving fans breathless, timelines flooded with tears and disbelief, and two names echoing across the industry like destiny finally fulfilled? What if the awards everyone debated in whispers, predicted in fan wars, and dreamed about in quiet midnight prayers actually came true in the most poetic way possible? And what if, at the center of it all, stood two brothers in music, two pillars of BTS, Jin and V, proving once again that artistry, sincerity, and time always tell the truth? The K-Star of the Year 2025 Awards night did not simply announce winners. It delivered a narrative, a story layered with patience, resilience, emotion, and a kind of triumph that cannot be manufactured. Congratulations #JAN and #V for winning awards at K-Star of the Year 2025 became more than celebratory hashtags. They became historical markers for a year that redefined solo artistry within one of the greatest groups the world has ever known. Jin's, the astronaut's younger brother in spirit, DSYLM, took home the award for Best Solo and Featuring Song, a recognition that felt like a long overdue embrace of his musical sincerity. V's Winter Ahead did something even more astonishing, winning Best Song and MVP, an achievement that sent shockwaves across fan communities and industry insiders alike. 3 trophies, 2 artists, 1 group legacy, and millions of emotions colliding at once. But how did we get here? Why did these wins feel so personal, so cinematic, so emotionally explosive? And what clues were hidden along the way that hinted this moment was inevitable? From the very beginning, the K-Star of the Year 2025 ceremony carried an unusual energy. Fans noticed it in the teasers, in the nominee lists, in the way certain songs kept resurfacing in conversations long after their release. There was a sense that something big was brewing, something that would not merely reward numbers but honor impact. When Jin and V's names appeared across multiple major categories, curiosity turned into anticipation. Could this really be the year where both would stand at the top together? Jin's journey to Best Solo and Featuring Song with DSYLM is a story of quiet power. Unlike explosive releases designed to dominate charts overnight, DSYLM unfolded slowly, like a letter read repeatedly until every word sank into the heart. The song carried Jin's signature warmth, his emotional clarity, and his ability to turn vulnerability into strength. Listeners spoke about how it felt less like a performance and more like a conversation, as if Jin was sitting across from them, sharing truths he had held onto for years. Industry critics initially underestimated its reach. Some wondered if its subtlety would be overshadowed by louder, trend-driven tracks. But that was the first clue everyone missed. DSYLM was not chasing trends. It was building trust. With every listen, its emotional weight grew heavier, its meaning deeper. Streaming numbers climbed steadily, fan covers multiplied, and the song found a second life in moments of reflection, heartbreak, healing, and hope. By the time awards season approached, DSYLM had become something more than a song. It was a companion. And when K-Star of the Year 2025 announced it as Best Solo and Featuring Song, the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Fans cried not because they were surprised, but because they felt seen. Jin's win validated the idea that gentleness can be powerful, that sincerity can triumph in an industry often driven by spectacle. Congratulations, Jin echoed across social media in dozens of languages, accompanied by stories of how DSYLM helped listeners through difficult nights, lonely mornings, and moments of self-doubt. This was not just an award. It was recognition of emotional labor, of artistic honesty, of a voice that chose comfort over noise and was rewarded for it. And then there was V. If Jin's win felt like a warm embrace, V's victories felt like a thunderstorm rolling in slowly, dramatically, and irresistibly. Winter Ahead was never just a seasonal song. From its first note, it carried a sense of inevitability, as if it already knew where it was going. Fans noticed it immediately. The haunting melody, the restrained yet devastating vocals, the atmosphere of longing and introspection. Winter Ahead did not scream for attention. It pulled you in, quietly, until you were completely surrounded. The clues were everywhere. Chart stability that refused to fade. Viral moments driven not by challenges, but by raw emotional reactions. Industry professionals praising its composition and mood. Fans describing it as cinematic, timeless, and the sound of solitude. Still, even with all that, few expected what would happen next. When Winter Ahead was announced as Best Song at K-Star of the Year 2025, the room reportedly went silent for a split second before erupting. This was not just a popular choice. It was a statement. Best Song meant everything came together. Artistry, impact, longevity, and cultural resonance. Winter Ahead had not just survived the year. It had defined it, but the night was not finished. The MVP announcement turned anticipation into disbelief. When V's name was called again for MVP for Winter Ahead, shockwaves rippled through the fandom. MVP is not a title given lightly. It recognizes dominance, influence, and the ability to shape the musical landscape. Winning both Best Song and MVP with the same track elevated Winter Ahead into a league of its own. Fans reacted with a mixture of joy, shock, and emotional overload. Some laughed through tears. Some sat in stunned silence. Some immediately replayed the song, hearing it differently now, heavier with meaning, brighter with triumph. Congratulations V trended alongside Winter Ahead as fans celebrated not just the awards, but the journey that led there. V's path to this moment was marked by artistic risk. Winter Ahead did not conform to mainstream formulas. It embraced mood over hooks, atmosphere over instant gratification. That choice could have limited its reach, but instead, it expanded it. The song resonated across borders, languages, and genres, proving that emotion is the most universal language of all. The MVP win felt like the industry acknowledging what fans had known for months. V was not just releasing music, he was shaping emotional experiences. He was redefining what a solo artist from a global group could achieve without sacrificing identity or depth. What made this night even more powerful was the shared victory. Jin and V, standing as individual artists, yet forever connected through BTS, embody the idea that growth does not mean separation. Their wins complemented each other, painting a picture of diversity within unity. Jin's gentle sincerity and V's atmospheric intensity showed two different paths leading to the same destination: excellence. The emotional response from fans worldwide transformed the awards into a global event. Live-stream clips circulated rapidly. Translations appeared within minutes. Fan art, letters, and tribute videos flooded timelines. For many, this felt like a moment of validation after years of unwavering support. There was also a deeper layer to the celebration. Both Jin and V's wins carried symbolic weight in the context of their careers, their personal growth, and their connection to fans. These awards were not about competition. They were about recognition. Recognition of patience, of artistic courage, of choosing authenticity over expectation. K-Star of the Year 2025 will be remembered not just for who won, but for why it mattered. It marked a year where emotional storytelling reclaimed center stage, where songs that asked listeners to feel deeply were rewarded at the highest level, where two artists from the same legendary group proved that their individual voices could shine just as brightly. As the night came to a close, one question lingered in the air. If this is what Jin and V can achieve now, what lies ahead? What new stories will they tell? What emotions will they unravel next? The surprises of this awards night have only intensified anticipation for the future. Congratulations, Jin, for transforming quiet emotion into award-winning artistry. Congratulations, V, for turning winter into a season of triumph. Congratulations to both for reminding the world that music, when honest, always finds its way home. And perhaps the biggest clue of all is this: this was never the end of the story. It was a powerful, unforgettable chapter, one that fans will revisit again and again, replaying not just the songs, but the feelings attached to them. K-Star of the Year 2025 did more than crown winners. It etched Jin and V's names deeper into the history of music, where they undeniably belong.